absolute embarrassment from Manchester United. That performance was a disgrace. It was a disgrace from pretty much everyone. The fact that Reguilon and Mesbury were our best two players in that game says it all. And big up Mesbury coming on, showing some hunger, scoring a goal. Because one thing we lack today is hunger. The players gave up. They weren't interested in following the system. As soon as he went a goal down, that was it. It was over. It was running football versus walking football. This isn't walking football. This is the Premier League. And what do I see? Our players walking, giving up. And defensively, they looked lost. It looked like they didn't know what they had to do defensively. I get that we're employing a diamond. I get that we're employing a new system. But they looked so out of it defensively when we had to defend. They didn't know where to position themselves, what to do. Dalot and McTominay, first half, I thought defensively were solid. I thought the first 20 minutes, we were brilliant. But that second half, we got ripped apart. We got torn to shreds. That second half was a complete embarrassment. We got completely outclassed. It was like the Spurs game where we went in on the Spurs game 0-0 at half-time and it was 50-50 versus Spurs. We went in 1-0 at half-time, but it was very 50-50. I think we felt like we deserved that 1-1 equaliser from Højlund. At half-time, it could have been 1-1, like Spurs was equal at half-time. We went in at half-time saying we had a good 20 minutes, we dropped off. It reminded me completely of the Tottenham Hotspur game. But then in that second half, it's like the Tottenham Hotspur game where we gave up. It's like, you know what? We're one goal down. We can't be bothered anymore. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in our system. We don't have the fight. We can't be bothered. 2-0. There's an attitude problem at this club. There's a massive attitude problem at this club. The work rate of some of these players is an absolute disgrace. And I love Ten Hag and I will back Ten Hag because he's not the biggest problem at this club. There's problems with ownership. There's problems with recruitment. There's problems with lazy players here. But Ten Hag's in-game management was an absolute disgrace. There's no excuses for this loss. I like to defend Ten Hag, but there's no excuses for this loss. To give Garnacho and Pelistri six minutes is embarrassing. To sub off Højlund and bring on Martial is embarrassing. From McTominay and Eriksen to spend that long on the pitch is embarrassing. Marcus Rashford, yes, he makes something out of nothing, but for him to stay on the pitch ahead of Højlund when he was giving the ball away and not helping us was embarrassing. The fact that you didn't change the system in the second half when Brighton had figured us out was embarrassing. Every single thing was embarrassing. Casemiro, I love you, you're brilliant, but oh my God, where have you been this season? Casemiro looks washed right now. I've tried to be positive. I try to be really positive about Manchester United. I try to get behind these players. I try to be really excited. But I don't know what's going on with this club. Casemiro looks finished. Bruno, just wasn't there today. Eriksen defensively is a mess. McTominay was absolutely lost. And the worst part about this is I had hope. I said a 2-week international break. I've had 2 weeks about football. I said it's so important today that we win versus Brighton. We've had the Sancho drama. We've had the Anthony drama. We had the Arsenal loss. And it feels like nothing can get worse. Every time we hit rock bottom, someone grabs a shovel and digs that rock even deeper. It's like, you know what? It's not rock bottom. It's the Grand Canyon. You're right at the bottom there. It just feels like nothing good will happen. I got so excited thinking, we're going to beat Arsenal 2-1. Garnacho scored the winner. We played well versus Arsenal. We lost it all. 3-1 loss. Horrible international breaks, Sancho drama, doing this, doing that, creating negativity in the camp. There's a dressing room divide going in at Man United, and the whole Anthony situation, the whole right-wing situation is a big fat mess. And then guess what? Guess what, people? Yeah, we go to Brighton. In the first 20 minutes, we play good football. I start saying in my watch long, Ten Hag haters, sit down, look at this fantastic football we're playing. This is what I want to see from United. Brilliant, attacking, fantastic football in those first 20 minutes. And then for nothing, as soon as we concede, as soon as we go a goal down, we switch off. The momentum goes Brighton's way, we give up. We go a goal down, we give up. We went a goal down versus Spurs, we give up. There's no belief or fight in these players. I'm worried that everything good that happened last season, everything that Ten Hag had built last season that was good, has gone away like that. There's still time to turn around the season. There's injuries. There's loads of issues. I think when everyone's fit, will be better. But this is the thing. Ten Hag came in last season and he did a brilliant job at restoring the dressing room. He did a fantastic job at restoring the dressing room, getting the Man United players back on his side. We had our worst ever season under Ragnick Ollie, and Ten Hag restored the dressing room. We played okay football. It wasn't brilliant football, but Ten Hag didn't have all his players in, so we had to adapt. We won a trophy. We came third place. We got back in the Champions League. This time a year ago, I never thought United were going to get in the top 4 last season. Ten Hag got us in the top 4. He won a trophy. He won the dressing room back. He built this positivity in at United. And we were going into this summer really excited, saying, you know what, we're 3 or 4 signings off doing something really special. But the players we signed weren't the right players. Højlund's a fantastic signing. He was the right signing, but we also needed someone like Kane. Onana was a fantastic signing. He's the right signing. Amrabat's the right signing. Mason Mount was not the right signing. But the big problem we did was Ten Hag made it clear, I'm going to need a centre-back because Varane and Martin have injury issues and Maguire, Lindelof and Evans aren't good enough. The board ignored the fact that we wanted Kim Min-jae, didn't give him Kim Min-jae. Bruno was playing right centre-back for the last 5 minutes of that game. That's when you know that is a disgrace. Bruno was playing right centre-back. Every bit of positivity started with the board, the lack of backing of Ten Hag in the summer and not bringing in the right players, waiting months to get Amrabat. Højlund comes in, he's injured. Amrabat comes in and he's injured. When everyone's fit, I think we'll be back in track. I think we'll be in a better position. And I like Ten Hag and I back Ten Hag and I back Ten Hag to turn it around because it doesn't matter. Even though I think Ten Hag got his decisions wrong, even though I thought the decision making the subs from Ten Hag was a disgrace, taking off Højlund was a disgrace. Højlund basically got a goal, and I think the VAR was a disgrace. But I guess maybe it's just out. But everything wound me up. But for me, I think Ten Hag got a lot wrong today, and I will be critical of Ten Hag and his stubbornness, his favouritism is costing us. There's a lot of pressure on Ten Hag, but I'm more angry at the players. I'm more angry at the players today because you know what? Ten Hag's had a tough week with Sancho. And, you can back Ten Hag and you can fight for Ten Hag and we can have some dressing room morale. But it looks like the dressing room is fighting. It feels like the dressing room is falling apart. It feels like there's no belief in the Man United players. All the mentality we gained last year in the right direction last year, it feels like they've lost all this belief. It feels like they look lost. It feels like they're not following the manager's plan. And once the dressing room starts turning on the manager, it goes sour. And then that's player power again. And that's another manager out. And, we can be critical of Ten Hag today. I think his lineup, his substitutions, his man management definitely cost us today. I think the players' laziness cost us today. But at the end of the day, I'm not Ten Hag out for this reason. I'm annoyed with Ten Hag. I think he's got favouritism. I think he's got stubbornness. But the reason I'm not Ten Hag out is we could bring De Zerbi in. We could bring Pep Guardiola in. And we'll have one good season under them where things look good. And then we'll have a half transfer window where we only address half our problems, a few injuries get in, and it falls apart. Every year we have a new manager, we have a good season under a new manager, we get excited, it gets promising, things look good, we're back in the Champions League, and then it's calamity. It's calamity, it's calamity, it's calamity. It's like we're not allowed to have 2 good seasons. And what we saw in the first 20 minutes was fantastic from United, but we're fantastic in the first 20 minutes versus Tottenham Hotspur. Why can't we keep this tempo up for 90 minutes? I don't know why we can't keep this tempo up for 90 minutes. I really don't. And I just feel very upset as a United fan. Very upset because we've been absolutely battered by a Brighton side that missing 4 or 5 key players. I was laughing at the beginning of my watch along saying this isn't even that good of a Brighton side, but the players are lazy. The players were walking. The players weren't trying. The system just, once De Zerbi figured out what we're doing, the system fell apart. Lindelof doesn't know how to defend. Delot was shambles today. Reguilon was good. Mejbri was good. Rashford made things happen, but he was selfish. He didn't help the team. Højlund was there in the box. He was good, got no service. He got taken off. And I have to say, Brighton responded to Man United's midfield diamond in the second half. De Zerbi figured out what United were going to do, and United just couldn't get around it. And, for me, Ten Hag's got to stop this stubbornness. He's got to stop this favouritism. He's got to go and give Garnacho and Pellistri a chance, play the young, hungry youths, because the same players are letting you down. It's time to play some young, hungry players. It's time to change things. It's time to drop the favouritism, please. Because you know what? I can't wait till Amrabat's back and fit. I can't wait till we've got Amrabat, Højlund, Pellistri, Garnacho, all of these players involved, because there's so much negativity going on at United at the moment. But the lack of physicality and athleticism in the squad is costing us. The lack of tacticians at breaking the lines, the lack of in-game management, the lack of pressing. It's not just on Ten Hag. His decisions could be better, but the pressing could have been better from the players. The running could have been better for the players. I don't like that certain players aren't playing in the right role. Some of our players aren't just good technically to play the way that Ten Hag wants to play. And we don't have the physicality and athleticism. And we have a shambles board. Glazers out, Qatar in. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.